Hey everyone, welcome back. So it's been a month and a half since I last worked on the transmission. I ordered the parts and then I got sick. And I worked on the BMW and feel like I got sick again. And then I felt okay, and now I'm kind of like in between, like feeling sick and feeling okay. So what are we doing today? In this video, we're gonna try and build the transmission and get the car back together so I can get it out of the shop. We'll talk about that later. But right now, the first thing we gotta do is clean the shop. It is absolutely filthy from all the half-baked things that I've done. So let me walk you through real quick. So this is usually what happens. I'll start working on a project, and instead of bringing it in and putting it where it's supposed to be, I'll just set it down and then go about my business, thinking later me will be totally fine with cleaning up messes. And at this point, that's all we have in here. It's just mess, mess, mess. So anybody with a bunch of space will tell you, the more space you got, the more stuff you accumulate, and I have certainly got all my stuff out. So what are we doing here? This is just as I left it. Second gear assembly is all chewed up in the boxes here. I'll show you later. We have the replacement gear and the replacement assembly, and then I bought the bronze shift pads because mine were busted. But that's basically what we're gonna do. We're gonna put it back together the way it was with minimal improvements. The only thing really that's better is the shift forks. The reason I'm doing that is because it was a fine transmission. Other than my clutch issues, I never thought it needed an upgrade anywhere, to be honest with you. It was perfectly fine. So putting it back together with the parts fixed, I'm good with. So today, I think hopefully once I get everything cleaned up, the plan is to soak this stuff in gasoline one at a time, get it clean so that I can start the assembly process and actually get something done. But right now, it's just too messy, and I can't even think about doing this until I get all this other stuff done. So let me put you on time lapse. I will do my best to make it somewhat interesting, put some decent music to it, but this is the process, right? You make a mess, you gotta clean it up. So let's get to it. Okay, you can't smell it, but the fumes of brake cleaner are thick in here. Been cleaning my table over there. So this stuff I can't get rid of yet because I'm selling some of it and then I'm going to use it in the BMW, like this stuff here. There's an engine block over here and a few parts that I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do with yet, but that's kind of fine where it is because I have space to work. But we have a burn pile here. That's obviously pending to put back in the car. And now I have a good workspace over here that I can start getting dirty. So the initial part that we're gonna clean, because that is where everything goes. And then here's your camera, that's you, hello. And all of this is ready to get dunked. I think ultimately the plan is I'm gonna put the car back together just like it is. I haven't taken any of this stuff apart yet in the engine. Obviously, the ultimate goal was to get all these parts in, but I need to work on the BMW. There's a really bad vibration and whirring noise in the back end of the car. I have new wheel bearings for it. I have not been able to put them in because I tried to use, well, I'll show you. I tried to use the correct socket. I don't even know where it went. These external Torx sockets. I used the right one. I took the whole rear of the car apart to get to the wheel bearing, and come to find out, even with the right tool, it rounded the edges off, so I couldn't get the bolts out. So I put it all back together, and I said I need to take the whole suspension apart. I need to do it in here. I need enough space so I can do all that and not do it outside because it's going to be a long job. So I'm going to put the car back together so I can at least drive it, get it out of here. And if the BMW takes longer than I wanted, I at least have another car to drive. There's really nothing that this needs. It needs an oil change and a transmission that works, and it's good to drive for the rest of the summer. If, you know, it comes down to I have extra time and I want to start kind of diving into this mess, then I will. Ultimately, that's going to take me a while because I have to remake the exhaust, which is okay, no biggie. The thing I was worried about that I did verify with ATI was that the AC compressor bracket that I made, which if you can even see, let me get you a light because this is important. The bracket that I made right there is not going to work. It's the wrong spacing. The bracket is for an F-body spacing for the AC system, and come to find out that is just wrong for a CTSV. So I have to remake that bracket. Well, as you can tell, it's really, I can barely even get you a picture of it. That's how tight it is. Remaking that is going to be difficult. It's going to be challenging to even get in there without taking the AC apart, which I don't want to do. It works well and it's charged correctly. So I don't know. I'm not sure where I'm going to go with this. I want to do it. I don't want to take the car down and not have it for summer, right? And I would prefer to have air conditioning when I have the car. So that stuff's kind of on hold. Really unfortunate. I was hoping to circumvent that particular issue, but you know, it is what it is. And then I also found out that this is the stock mount for the idlers on the blower belt, and I don't think that this fits with this size ring. So I would need the aftermarket one of these, which offsets it or makes it smaller or whatever it does. Yeah, so it's a lot of work, and then I'd also have to get it retuned, right? Because then we're putting a lot more boost into the engine. So there's just a lot to do there. This might be the next winter project. I'm not really sure yet. I don't really want to push it that far, but at the same time, I don't want to take the car down. We're not doing redwood this year. I don't know if I've said that or not. Here, let's do this. Redwood is a lot of fun. My wife and I both enjoyed it last year, and I think we did pretty good. However, neither one of us have race cars. My car does race car things, but it's a street car. To get it to a point where it could be competitive, where I could actually win something, it would take a lot. It really would. And I'm not even sure that this car, without making a lot of changes that I'm not willing to make because it is ultimately a street car, I'm not sure it would ever get to that point, right? Because we're kind of going up against some pretty serious cars that people don't care to turn into race cars that might have been street cars at one point. All of that to say, we're not going this year. It is an expensive endeavor as well. So we're taking this year to kind of just reevaluate where we want to go and what we want to do and get back to zero, and then see what we decide after that. So this year, recovery. So I'd love to just have the car. I'd love to just have the car to drive all year, all summer, and enjoy it. Take it to car shows, do car show things, maybe go on a couple drives. And if I take all of the front accessory stuff apart, you know, and this is all assuming that it would fit with this radiator and shroud. And if it doesn't, that's more stuff I have to buy, making it more complicated and more expensive. So I think right now, the best bet, leave it the way it is, drive it for the summer. I will start working on the BMW. I'd love to make the mounts. It is possible. I was thinking about taking the black car that's out there and bringing it in here, taking the differential and the axles out because they do fit my wagon. And then maybe I could start making mounts with that, kind of use it as a template so that when I get ready to put the engine in right there, I already have everything ready. So I don't know, there's a lot that we can do. Let's get to actually what we should be doing, which is cleaning things. Blurry. Cleaning things. So last I left you was about a week ago. Got called in for dinner and never came back out. So this is as far as we've got. I'm going to put you back on the camera and we're going to get something done today. Probably the most we're going to do is just some more cleaning. I think we'll probably start assembly another day because there's just so much to clean. But at least once I get everything clean, it's just ready to start assembling. All right, so let's get to it. All right, so as you just saw, we got everything cleaned up. I tried to keep it all in order. I don't know that I kept everything exactly how it's supposed to be, but I'm guessing that the instructions will show me where I've gone wrong if I have. But we got the shift forks replaced on all of these guys, so 5th and 6th. These two here are all bronze now, and then these are all replaced as well. Interesting though, these 4 were the orange style, and then these were the black style. I don't know if like those are just plastic and the other ones were that, I don't remember the name of it. I'll throw it on the screen here. But they were different, but they all fit. These ones I had to actually kind of tap on. They were really tight, but that's good. That's better than the alternative of falling off. So everything looked really good. Definitely was dirty. Glad I did it. You know, the case and stuff was dirty, but that's to be expected. But in the bearings and the gears and everything, I mean, I had to flush the gasoline multiple times when I did this because it was so dirty that I didn't want to keep putting metal back on things. So I'm happy with it. I need to get some transmission fluid and start soaking some things and move on to the next step, but that'll be a different day. All right, it's a new day. We're gonna go ahead and just try to get the main shaft assembled, if nothing else, and then continue from there. So what I have figured out is that I need 3 screens. So I have the main screen here telling me how to assemble. I'm gonna reference that and kind of, you know, as the steps go through, just make sure I'm familiarizing myself. And I'm gonna do that over here with this awesome manual somebody sent me in one of the Facebook groups. Basically, on my iPad here, I can look and zoom in on what part they're talking about, find the part number, and then reference my sheet for which part number is which, and know exactly what I'm doing. Otherwise, I'd be switching back and forth, and it would be such a pain. Anyways, we're gonna start with the main shaft, like I said, and then we're just gonna assemble the stack. All right, there we go. Let's get to it. All right, so as you saw, we got quite a bit done. We have basically all the stuff that goes on the top side of the case. The next step is sealing this up and putting her down and bolting it together. So I'm gonna stop for the day. It's a really nice day outside, pretty rare for us this time of year. So I think I'm in a good place to stop. Very confident about all the things that we've done here. This was weird and there's not a ton of info, but it only goes on one way, so I think we're all right there. Next time I come out here, we will seal up the case, throw the case on there, and then it's just assembling the backside, which is pretty easy in comparison. So it was scary to get out here and get started because I've never done this before, and I was scared of pressing something on that shouldn't have been there. But it actually went together pretty easy, and the directions made it much simpler. The one thing I should have done different was getting a new 3rd gear synchronizer assembly, and basically the teeth on the slider were a little worn, but I don't think they're bad enough that it won't work. It's just it could be better, right? I mean, they're a little rubbed off on the peaks. They're, instead of being like this, they're a little bit more like this. But I never really had any problems shifting into 3rd. It was just when I had clutch issues. So I think it'll be all right. And if it isn't, then I guess we'll do this again. So one thing I did want to add was the addition of the press. So I was trying to tap on some of the gears, and while that would probably work, it was literally making my arm tired because you can't really like hit it real hard. You got to just kind of tap it all the way around in a circle. Once I put this in, it was just cake. I had a 12-ton before, and it wasn't this tall, and I don't know if it would have worked because I had this one all the way down at one point. But either way, happy to have this guy. And it's even hydraulic. I just didn't want to mess with it because my air compressor is loud. But that was nice. It's a new day. We are going to try and get this transmission assembled. We did quite a bit last time we were out here. And now it's making sure we did everything correct and then sealing it up. So we're gonna clean the surface, put some RTV on it, and then we're gonna slide the main body on. Everything should be good to go. We're just gonna put it together, and if it doesn't shift, then we'll take it back apart, which is gonna suck, but I can't do more than verify how it's supposed to be and leave it that way and then hope for the best. So there we are. All right, let's get it together. A quick update, as you saw, I had a little bit of issues with the shift forks. I think what had happened was when I put everything in, it was in like 4th gear. So the actual detents for the forks weren't lined up. And I believe in this one, there's a detent that goes this way. And then this one, there's a detent that goes this way. And it just wasn't lined up. I even looked in there beforehand. Didn't look right, but I put this bolt in anyways. And then not only could I not get it to shift, I couldn't get it to spin in some of the gears. And then I forced it back and forth. Finally got it in neutral, took the bolts out, and it was able to spin freely, put the bolts back in, and we're good to go now, and it shifts into all the gears that are currently in the transmission. So that's great. That feels good. I know I did something right. So we'll move on to the next step. Keep that train rolling. All right, it's the last day of spring break, so we are going to try and get the car on the road. The transmission is done, as you saw. I don't know if I even made a video, but essentially everything went well. It all shifts through the gears. Everything seems to turn the right direction, and I am 90% confident that we're good to go, but time will tell. Put it in the car. So what I'm doing now, just kind of getting ready to put the transmission in, button everything up. The field repair that I did on the slave cylinder, I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to put some uncut stuff on there so that it actually could survive. And then I think we're just ready to put everything in. All right, so we got the car together. Let's just fire it up and cross our fingers. So we did an oil change. We did the transmission rebuild. We bled the clutch. And we put the differential back together. Just put the fluid back in it because I'm not going to deal with that for now. But I think that's it. I don't remember. It's been too long. We got oil pressure, so that's good. we have all gears, even reverse, which is great. I did notice that the AC belt is coming off. I forgot to fix that last time I parked the car. It seemed like it came off during Redwood, but not a big deal. I'll just throw that back on, and then we'll get this thing pulled out of the garage and hopefully go for a drive at some point. All right, till then. All right, heading to work. I'm gonna do a little cold start, see how she sounds. It's a little cold-blooded in the morning, so sometimes it takes a second. Yesterday, that kind of sucked, but I don't need the AC right now. It's cool enough outside. Gotta stop downshifting with the clutch in. Got scared of a bunch of people on accident. Oh well, runs good. Clutch goes a little flat after I get on it. Not really sure what that's about. Wonder if it's forcing all the air into the system or into the slave cylinder. I don't know. I should probably Google it, because it definitely loses like a quarter travel, which is weird. Anyways, that was pretty good. I think this project has been successful. Obviously, I didn't do a whole lot, just rebuilt the transmission, put it back in, but that was a first for me. So it was nice to have that be successful. All right, until next time, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And hopefully we'll do something fun in the next video. Not that this wasn't fun, just not as fun as it could be.